their presence adding both strength and sorrow to the already burdened corridor. The family had been waiting for them, not because they could change what the doctors were doing inside the ICU, but because grief becomes lighter when it is shared, and hope becomes stronger when it is carried by many hearts together. The cousins moved forward quietly, each step carrying the weight of memories they had lived together. Childhood summers in the desert, shared meals under the stars, laughter echoing in palaces where joy was once endless. Now, those same memories returned, not as comfort, but as a painful reminder of how fragile life truly was. Their faces revealed the struggle between composure and collapse, between the dignity of royalty and the helplessness of family. The moment they reached Prince Hamdan, silence broke. Arms wrapped around one another, shoulders became places of comfort, and tears flowed freely. Titles and positions vanished. There was no prince, no cousin, no hierarchy. There were only human beings, tied together by love and fear, praying that the man they all adored behind those doors would hold on to life. The hugs lingered longer than usual, the hands held tighter than ever before, as though the strength of touch could somehow transmit hope through the walls of the ICU. The family filled the corridor until it felt like no space remained, yet the silence between them spoke louder than words. Mothers whispered dua under their breath, their lips trembling as they pleaded with Allah to grant healing. Fathers bowed their heads in quiet reflection, understanding that no wealth, no power, no royal authority could command life or death. Brothers stood like sentinels, not out of strength but because they knew they must not fall, even as their hearts broke silently. Sisters wept openly, their sobs echoing like waves, breaking again and again against the shore of despair. The cousins, now part of this circle of grief, joined hands, raising prayers in unison. Their presence reminded Prince Hamdan that he was not alone, that his pain was their pain, his father was their father too. For in love, family boundaries dissolve, and hearts beat as one. The sound of collective whispers filled the hallway, verses rising like incense to the heavens, wrapping the hospital in invisible threads of faith. Inside the ICU, the machines continued their rhythm beep after beep, steady yet fragile, a reminder that life was hanging on a thread. Every sound that escaped through the closed doors became a message, a heartbeat continuing, a battle still being fought. Each time the doors opened for a doctor to emerge, the family would lean forward as though pulled by one string, their eyes begging for hope, their breaths caught in their throats. And every time the doors closed again, silence returned heavier than before. Prince Hamdan stood tall, but his eyes betrayed the storm inside him. His cousins gathered around him, laying their hands on his arms and shoulders, their unspoken promise clear. We are with you, no matter what comes. He drew strength from them, knowing that even though he was the face of resilience to many, he was still a son in need of comfort, still a man whose heart was breaking for his father. The corridor became a sanctuary of love. The royal family, united with their cousins, created a shield of faith that surrounded the ICU. It was as if their prayers, their tears, their love formed invisible walls stronger than any medicine. The staff moved quietly around them, respecting the sacredness of the moment. Even those who had no blood relation, guards, nurses, attendants, felt part of this grief, bowing their heads, whispering silent prayers, feeling the weight of love that knew no boundaries. As hours stretched into the depth of night, exhaustion tugged at their bodies, but no one left. The cousins stayed, the family stayed, because leaving felt like betrayal, as if absence might weaken the force of their collective hope. They remained shoulder to shoulder, soul to soul, waiting, praying, believing. When dawn began to color the sky faintly through the hospital windows, it did not bring peace, but it brought a reminder. Life moves forward. Time refuses to pause. The family, however, stood still, locked in that moment between despair and hope. The cousins, with eyes red from sleeplessness and tears, continued to stand firm beside Prince Hamdan, their presence a living testimony that no matter how heavy grief becomes, it is always lighter when carried together. And in that hospital corridor, filled with tears, whispers, embraces, and prayers, the royal family and their cousins proved that even in the face of uncertainty, even when death stood close, the power of unity, love, and faith was stronger than any fear. In that moment, the hospital was not a building of walls and machines, but a temple of love, where family stood together, hearts bound as one, and prayers rose higher than despair.